everyone, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and let's leave no dye behind. In this pot, I've got a combination of some now residual Wilton's Violet food coloring, Dharma True Black, and I'm going to rinse out a squeeze bottle of Dharma Navy that is basically empty. Okay, there's one pass and a good second as I attempt to leave none of this extra dye stock behind. What I have here is a dye pot that is still warm. It's not hot, but it's definitely warm. And oh goodness, it started off with 16 cups of water and probably had between 6 and 10 tablespoons of vinegar, maybe more. So it is very, very acidic. And as I said, it's still warm. And yeah, I'm expecting colors will strike pretty quickly. I've got here some Knit Picks Swish DK. This is 100% superwash merino, and I pre-soaked it for about 20 minutes. Now I am going to just add it in. Again, you know, we're heating this up now. I'm expecting some level of tonal. I wonder if, you know, we'll see some breaking from that Wilton's Violet, but I've actually got pretty good coverage of our yarn so far. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy. It's very purpley. I'm curious like how deep it will get, but yeah, I think I'm gonna move it around a tiny bit more. Oh, I'm pretty happy with it. The dye bath is barely warm. I thought it was a bit warmer than it was. So we could end up getting something that has a little bit more solid than semi to it. I mean, this is beautiful and super saturated so far. So I am really, really excited. All right, I am gonna go ahead and let this sit for 10 minutes and then we will come back. But oh yeah, I'm using one of my favorite reusable nylon zip ties as an extra tie to keep the yarn safe, but also it makes it really easy to pick it up. 10 minutes later, oh you guys, this is beautiful. Oh, this is so saturated. This is like, I would call this midnight, not even navy. It's like a midnight blue. Ooh. I mean, most of that color has absorbed. We haven't yet hit a boil, but what I'm gonna do is heat this up until we start to see some movement on the surface. And then I'm gonna turn off the heat completely and let it cool off in the pot. Okay, which will probably happen sooner than I thought because I've now seen some movement. But this color is beautiful, man. Oh, I love it. I am real happy. Okay. Yep, I'm seeing some movement and some bubbles. I'm turning off the heat. I'm leaving this on the burner that's hot, but I'm just gonna let this cool completely. And then once it's cool, we'll go wash the yarn. Sometimes when you're me, things end up staying in the dye bath a bit longer than you anticipated, but our water is clear. So now we're gonna wash it, and we're just in some room temperature tap water, and oh, this color is amazing. I definitely see some tonal variations, some lighter and darker of this really rich midnight blue, twilight blue color. I'm going to add a little bit of clear dish soap. Sometimes adding soap can cause some colors to bleed. It's always worth kind of checking and seeing when you're dealing with such a saturated color. And if I was knitting with some hand-dyed yarn, it was a really deep color, I would make sure to wash it on its own for the first few rinses. I mean, the color is in the yarn, but with any acid dyes, food coloring, or commercial dyes, in warm water you can see some bleeding. So if that were to happen, just add some vinegar to your pre-soak. Or if you're concerned, it's not a bad idea to do anyway. But I'm going to finish rinsing out the soap, and then we'll go hang up the yarn to dry. Here's the color that we created with some leftover navy dye, whatever colors did not absorb to yarn right away, some leftover Wilton's Violet food coloring, and maybe a little bit of black dye as well. This color is deep, rich. I would call it a midnight blue more than a navy. It's definitely leaning navy, but there is more sort of a little bit more pop to it than a navy might have. But it's pretty close. You could almost call it navy. This tonal yarn is beautiful. I'm not sure if I see any evidence of color breaking. There's definitely, even though we were using like remnants amount of violet, there's definitely enough that we could see some breaking. But I think that there was probably so much more of the acid dye there that might be why we don't really see it. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Leave No Dye Behind. It doesn't matter if the dye is left in your dye pot, or if you're going to mix acid dyes and food coloring. Technically, they all absorb to the yarn in the same way. Food coloring is a type of acid dye. It's just one that is approved for food and isn't necessarily used very much in commercial dye formulas. But the mechanism is the same, and so therefore you can combine them. Goodness, I love tonal yarns so much. They're some of my favorite to knit with. I love having subtle differences in the stitches because I feel like it gives the final garment a lot of depth to it. I don't film doing as many tonals because I think overall they aren't necessarily as exciting to watch, because a lot of what happens is in the pot versus something a little more hands-on. But let me know if you want to see me do a lot more tonals. And yeah, I am just so excited by this one. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you subscribe, leave a comment, and tap that bell icon to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. I post at least 2 new videos every week on Tuesday and Friday mornings, and you really don't want to miss any of it. Finally, if you're already a huge ChemKnits fan and want to support the content, head over to the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop. The store is filled with hand-dyed yarn featured in past and upcoming YouTube videos, and it's a great way to support everything that goes on here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.